The following is an encore presentation of stories from the Dooralong Transformation Centre.
And a good Wednesday morning to you. We're here again for our normal Dooralong segments. Normally Phil is here, but like I said, he's away. He's actually due back soon, and he'll be in the hot chair, and I'll be relieved of duty. I'm pretty sure you'll be happy to get him back. So as always on Wednesday, we get to hear life-changing stories from participants from Dooralong, which is a treatment center for various addictions. And my guest this morning is Wayne. Good morning, Wayne.
Good morning, Evan. How are you?
I am very well, sir. Very well, sir, indeed. I must say, you look very, very healthy.
Yeah, thank you.
And I don't know, if you walked in my door and said hello, I think you were here to sell me something. You know, fitness guru here, maybe. I don't know. You look very, very put together.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Must be the food.
So I haven't had anything to eat at the Dooralong kitchens, but I've been meaning to get out there. So, but like I said, you're a participant of Dooralong. Look at you, we'd never know it. But then again, what does a person addicted to something look like? I don't know. But we all come in various shapes and sizes. But you, my sir, no, you do not look that picture. So I'm very interested to hear your story. So let's dive in and let's start from the beginning. Where are you from?
I was born in Melbourne, in Victoria, but I grew up in Sydney in the outer west. I grew up there from about 7 onwards to 12. I stayed with my mum.
Okay.
And I stayed with. They were separated, my father and mother, at a young age, from about seven to even now, and I'm 39 now, and it was a pretty dysfunctional sort of family. It was a challenging life when I was young. I got one older brother, 2 younger brothers, and at a very young age I got put into a place of responsibility where I was my mother's helper, basically with looking after my 2 younger brothers and my older brother, and being a helper to do the shopping, cleaning, and basically get all those things that she needs done. Yeah.
So you were a carer at a very young age?
Yes, I was.
Right, okay. Yeah. Well, what age were you? Around about?
From about 7 to about 12 years old.
Wow, that's a very young age to become a carer. So
definitely.
Where was Dad?
My dad's a alcoholic and a gambler.
Okay. All right.
And he is still struggling with his addictions at this time, and has for a long time. And he wasn't really able to help us too much then, because he was still stuck.
Yeah. Was he still at home?
No, they separated at a very young age, and Mum relied on me to do a lot of the stuff that my dad was there for.
You were the oldest?
Second oldest.
Second oldest, right.
Yeah.
Often you find that in broken homes, the eldest child, gets forced into a position of responsibility to look after the younger siblings.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm a product of that. I think at age 10, because mom or dad still has to go out and work.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. So living in outer Sydney, dad's out the home. Was mom working at that point?
No, she was on a pension. We live in a housing commission area in Bonnyrigg, and it was very challenging. My mum didn't have a lot of money when we were younger, and I learned at a young age when I was going shopping with my mum, I learned how to help my mum in ways that were the right way. I used to go steal the shopping and different things like that.
Yeah.
My mum gave me the money to go do the shopping, and I'd end up stealing all of it and just giving her back the money, and then I'd get a belting for it.
Yeah.
So sort of mixed messages a lot, but I still got everything we needed, and then I learned at a very young age how to, if I needed anything, I'd just go steal it myself, just take it. And I used to steal the toys and different things from my brothers and myself, because we didn't have a lot of that sort of stuff, because Mum didn't have enough money to really spend on that areas.
Well, growing up in a housing commission, you would have had a lot of teachers.
Definitely.
Definitely a lot of people who were like, this is how we do it.
Yeah.
This is how we get over or get by, depending on what part of the nation you grew up in to speak, or the language. So it's just, you fall into that crowd.
Yeah, definitely.
The old thing, you become what you hang around.
Yeah.
But in your case, as a 12-year-old, you would look at that as, it's survival for me.
Yeah, it was.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And Yeah, just to have just what everyone else had. I went and just, I didn't know any other way. We couldn't afford. Mum couldn't afford it, and she was struggling. She had a lot of abuse problems in her past from the island culture, and it's very hard sort of discipline.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say hard. Actually, it's just a lot of it's abuse, and I got a lot of that because I was pretty stubborn and couldn't be told. And
a lot of 12-year-olds are, bro.
Yeah, and I think at a young age, about 7, when I was looking after my youngest brother that's not around anymore. He died a cot death. I found him and I took it pretty personally.
Yeah.
So I was looking after him and my other 2 younger brothers, and at that young age I experienced something I suppose you shouldn't experience, and everyone else was crying at the funeral, but I couldn't. I was angry. I was angry at God, I was angry at everything, and I learned at a young age how to get God back was to just be the worst I possibly could be, and with stealing, doing basically anything I wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did that for a lot of years. It was a challenging life, but I put myself in a lot of challenging areas, and it made me a stronger person. I know how to look after myself, and how to look after other people very well, but I didn't really learn it at a young age. I was basically told that my needs didn't really matter as long as my brothers, my mum, and my other family members, because I usually got put on babysitting duty with my cousins and different things like that, because I was pretty responsible at that age, and everywhere I went I was sort of the carer. So that role sort of stayed with me for a lot of years. And
it can be a position that, by default you're automatically shoved into, and no one actually realizes the load that's placed on your shoulders.
Yeah, definitely.
As a young child, when really you should be out playing soccer.
Definitely.
Getting involved in sports, but yet you have to sacrifice the socializing with the friends and the sports and activities to actually become that child parent.
Yeah,
and it's difficult.
And
at 12,
it was.
How could you comprehend that? I mean, you process it the best you can.
Yeah.
And then toss your environment into the mix, and dad's not there, and the drug and alcohol and crime, which is definitely abundant in a housing commission area. It's tough.
Yeah, definitely, especially being alone. Because I had my brothers there. I had my 2 younger brothers and my older brother, but they were more like me. More like my children in a way of speaking. I didn't really get to. I don't really get along with a lot. I prefer people that are a lot older than I am. I sort of get on a lot more with them, and it was a lonely life, to be honest. I couldn't allow anyone to get too close to me because I was always responsible, so I couldn't really
You become that lone ranger.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm happy doing things on my own, and because I've always done that. Yeah, I can identify, man. My parents split when I was 10. My sister was only 2. So and mom had to work, so I came straight home from school and was a babysitter.
Yeah.
So at 2 years old, combing your sister's hair, braiding it, putting it to bed at night, cooking and whatnot. Seriously, man. I mean, I actually don't know how I did that, but at that age, you just do.
Yeah,
and you don't
have
know
to.
You don't know that you're not supposed to do it. You just it's here, do this.
That's your role.
It's your role, and you just do it. So definitely can identify that, and you do tend to I can look after myself, and I prefer to do things the way I need to do it because that's just the way I am. And that's just the way I was made.
That's right. Just I sort of learned how to do things. I can pick up things pretty quick, and I sort of for a long time I looked at it as being a curse, poor me, all that sort of thing. And but when I look back on it now, I'm all those lessons I learnt when I was younger and got pushed into those positions of responsibility. It's teaching me these days now how I can look after a house myself. I can clean, I can cook, I can look after kids, children, no problems. And later on down the track, I end up doing work with people with disabilities with cerebral palsy. And I didn't think I'd be that good at it, but it was unnatural. But when I thought about it, no, it was unnatural. My mum taught me that at a young age, and I was very good at the work. And the only thing that was my downfall in that area is the alcohol later on down the track. I still had that a lot of it's just self-hate. I just didn't think I was worth that love, worth that time and care. It was all right for me giving love and care to other people, but I didn't know really how to receive or accept it myself. And I still find that hard and challenging. I don't mind helping, and I help anybody anytime and pull them up. When it comes to people help me to pull me up, I don't particularly like it.
It's a trap. It's just a trap that you can get caught into, where this is what I'm good at, and this is what people always seem to call on me to do. So maybe this is the only thing I'm worth for. It's just doing this. You can get caught in there, and it's hard to give and give and give and give and give and give, and it's difficult to receive. Because we left off with Wayne with a really powerful testimony of the love of God. I mean, seriously, I was mesmerized listening to that, and we're talking off air about how God just works in our life, and it's just absolutely amazing. He is truly a good God, and it's just awesome just to hear you speak about that. And I'm pretty sure the listeners are loving what you have to say and believing that we're touching people too as well. So let's pick up to your introductory to rehabs, because you said you've done a few. So what led you to your first one? How'd you end up there? Who got you there? How did it happen? Because obviously that was your path to going in and out of rehab to getting it right. Obviously you were on the good one here. But what happened with your first stint? How'd you get there, and where was it?
My first stint was in rehab down in Sydney. I think it was William Booth as well. And it was at a time, a stage in my life when I was either go to jail or go to rehab, and I prayed about it a lot, and I had a lot of serious charges that time, and I prayed and asked for God's help and his leadance and his guidance to get me to rehab, and I would follow him.
So through the midst of all this, you were committed Christian. Well, you were a Christian. You knew God.
Oh yes, because I grew up in the church, but it was the God I knew in the church was the one, if I'd done the wrong thing, I'd get the belting of a lifetime. And it wasn't the God of love that I know. It was the God of fear and punishment as soon as I do anything wrong. And it seemed to happen like that a lot throughout my life. Where anytime I'd done anything wrong, and it'd be a punishment like you wouldn't believe. And
so you had learned to see God as the God of love and grace.
Oh, definitely. And the God I found I was actually in the rehab. It was a completely different God to the one I grew up with, where he wasn't a double standard God, where he'll love me if I do the right thing, but he'll punish me if I don't do I'll do the wrong thing. And the love I found back, that's first sort of started my journey with God about 20 years ago, and my life's never been the same since, because I came straight from jail, got into the rehab. I was either jail or rehab, and I got into the rehab, and then from a rehab I went to a Bible college up in Port Macquarie, and just how door after door just opened for me. I know God had to be involved in my life, and then I got introduced to him, and it was nothing like it. And I can't explain what it's like to have no hope, have no purpose in life, to going nowhere, and just trying to end my life a few times in different ways, and asking God, if you're real, prove it, or otherwise I'll just go. And I said, God, make yourself known to me, and he did. And then the God I got to know and love, what I loved about him the most is he knew every area of my life. He knew me backwards and forwards. He knew every person I've hurt, every person I've robbed, every person I've broken their hearts, and he still loves me. And I thought, why? How could you?
Mate, if only people could do that.
How could you still love me knowing what you know, when I don't even have any love of my own heart for myself? And
he knew you from the moment you entered the womb.
And when I read different verses in the Bible about the love of God, I've read it a few times, but I didn't really know it until I experienced it. Then
the Bible College in Port McCoy?
Yeah.
Okay.
And when I experienced him in my life, it was just an overwhelming peace, an overwhelming joy, and that you can't describe. I've been high of every drug, high of every high in life you can possibly get, and nothing compares to that love that God gives me, that he just loves me for me, doesn't want nothing back in return. All he wants is my best. And I still find it hard to believe some days that I'm having my days that are a bit more rough, but then he knows just how to pick me up and how to talk to me in a way to pull me up. When I'm feeling down, he'll lead someone along my path. He knows my weakness and my strength is when someone's down, I can't turn away with that caring nature he's given me when I was young. I'll go out of my way to help that person first, and then I'll get back to kicking myself and beating myself up later. And God knows that's my weakness, so he'll put that person in my path, or whoever it may be, and I'll go help that person. Then it takes my mind off criticising or pulling myself down before those thoughts that I've had in my head and heart have been built into me at a young age and throughout my life, or those lies.
Amen.
And he starts revealing the truth, that how much I am worth it, how much he does love me, and how much he cares for me.
Yeah, everybody's different, and he knows how to reach us, how, where, and when, definitely. And it's up to us to catch that and see it.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
he makes sure, like you said, he puts it in your path, and that's exactly what he does. He drops it right in front of you. Say, hey, snap out of this. This is where we are. So, Bible College, now, that was your first stint. How'd you end up back doing a second stint?
I ended up letting go of God. I got impatient. God gave me everything back in a short amount of time. I had a job I loved. I go and help and share with people about him. And I got a bit disheartened because when I was sharing with people about God, and they were taking a while to come over towards him, and I took it personally, like I wasn't doing my job properly, about sharing with God, so it must be something about me. So I kept trying harder, and then I stopped doing my own devotions, my own plugging into God, and get my spiritual strength, and I started giving until I had nothing else left, and I ended up burning myself out, and then everyone suffered. In the end, I ended up losing a lot of the Bible contacts so I did have at that time, and after that happened, and when I'd seen that they weren't coming towards God, I took it personally, and I forgot that that's not my job to do the reaping and sowing.
Yeah.
That it's God's.
Yeah.
And that even God, when he was sharing about the good news, the same happened with him. He didn't get everybody either. People have a choice. It sort of broke my heart that they didn't come across, and then I ended up turning away, and ended up not having any patience and waiting for the right lady that God had had for me. Yeah. And I started going out, started moving away from the church a lot more, started going out, going clubbing, and got back into my old life again, and said, God, if you're not going to find me the right lady in my life, I'll find any. Okay. And ended up finding a lady that we both influenced each other in the opposite direction, away from God, and
drug and alcohol again.
Yeah, and then I ended up back in jail after that, because God gave me everything I needed except that one area, and I didn't have enough patience and trust to wait for him to find a lady that loves him first and foremost with all their heart, and not me.
It's interesting to hear you say that, it just happened, or I just fell away, or I didn't have the strength to stay away from it. You actually know it was me. I didn't have patience to do that. You're not looking to blame anybody. And out of this whole interview, even talking about your mom and dad, I have to actually take my hat off to you, because you said you had negative feelings, but you've never once said I blame them for anything. I've had the negative feelings there. It was there, but it's what I did. I own it. and here I am. And here you are again saying, look, I didn't have the patience. You didn't blame God, you didn't blame anybody else. I didn't have the patience to wait. You understood that. And that's good. I mean, the first step in solving the problem is recognizing that there is one and what it is. And patience. So you learned that lesson. Get that. Okay. So you come out of rehab. You come out of jail. Did that lead you into your next stint of rehab? Or what happened when you were released from jail, which you spent a total of, 13 to 14 years in jail, the longest being 9 years, but you had a couple of, 1 year stints and a 2 year stint. So you came out of jail this time. Where did you go to from there?
Before I came out of jail, pretty challenging in there, because I had 9 years straight. And before I even got the sentence, I was trying the whole way through to get out of the sentence by saying I need rehab and all those little tricks to try to get out of jail. So by the end of it, end up doing the 9 years, and God goes, "Oh, you really need the rehab, or you can do that straight after you finish your jail sentence."
Do the crime, you can do the time this time, son.
So me trying to be this shifty and sneaky, sort of backfired me. Cramp. And I love God's sense of humour. He does that, to be honest. Every time I try to get around things or do things the short way or the shortcut sort of way, it gets thrown straight back at me. And I have to laugh about it because as that will cry.
There's no shortcuts in God, or some people would say, there's no microwave maturity.
No, that's for sure.
I've heard that statement before, but God's like, He's thorough.
Definitely.
Like, no, we need to do this because there are things that need to come out, and we need to take care of that if you're going to have a successful life, son. We need to fix this up, unless you keep going around that same mulberry bush. I get that. So, all right.
And what I love about God too, I didn't understand, because I watched that movie Shawshank Redemption. I didn't understand how you can possibly get institutionalized, how you prefer to stay there. By the time I finished this 9 years, I understood it. I didn't understand it until then, that you just get used to it. You get used to that lifestyle. You get used to people telling you what to do, people doing everything for you, and everything like that. And it's a structure, which I didn't have a lot of throughout my life. It was all over. It was pretty dysfunctional. And what I love about God, He put the whole way through that sentence, He put different obstacles and different things in front of me to help me get stronger, help me learn from the lessons of the past where I fell down. And this time around, I know that even when I was in there, He was putting in my heart to do a community development program, to work in housing commission areas, to help kids in a holistic approach, and adults from 0 all the way up to 24 and onwards. And I know if I didn't get that 9 years straight, I wouldn't have had the heart to do that. I wouldn't have even thought of doing that or been inspired to do something like that. And I just thank Him that even in those challenging and bad situations people may look at it, it was actually a blessing for me, because I'm too headstrong. I want everything done yesterday, and that was my problem, why I kept going in and out of jail, and I got that last sentence. That I just do things without thinking, but now God sort of taught me how to use that headstrongness to put it into good use, and I love all the different lessons in my life. I look at them now as lessons now instead of curses. I look at them as teaching grounds for myself, where God's taught me through all those challenges and made me a stronger and better person in all areas.
So basically, God had you cornered. He had you cornered. He was okay. Have I got your attention now?
Definitely.
I got your attention now. Then He started placing things on your heart. That's interesting. God does that a lot. People could be in the worst of situations, financial situations, and yet God's putting business plans in their ideas, in their head. And well, how can I possibly do that when I'm here? Because God's not looking at that right now. He's already seen that. It's just, can you look past that?
Oh, definitely.
Can you look past that and see a brighter future and a hope? And you're saying that you're in prison and you can see how people get institutionalized, like you don't know anything else. There are a lot of people who are not in prison that are still institutionalized. T.D. Jakes would call it crystallized.
Yeah.
Things just become a partnership between husband and wife. You pick up the kids, I'll go here, but what time I'll meet you here. But there's no vision.
Yeah.
It's just we do day to day, and we can get trapped in that rut.
Yeah. And there's no real fullness though.
No.
I see for myself when I just look at myself and my family's relationships and just other people's relationships that there's so much missing.
Yes.
And the main vital area I see for myself that the missing is God in the life. If you have God in life, He'll give you it gives you a full life, because it teaches me personally how to live a full life in all areas, not just with the drugs and alcohol, but with my work, with my play, with learning how to be a family, because He's a God that restores all the things that this world takes away from me. And everything that the world's taken away from me, He's given me 10 times that already, and made me 10 times more equipped than a lot of people in this world who so-called normal or so-called don't have any problems. But I can see where they're struggling in so many different areas, where they overwork, or they focus too much on material things. They focus too much on, I have to get my kid to the best school, the best this. I have to work harder. But they're losing the children though for the sake of trying to better their children. It's sort of all in reverse when I look at it properly. Yeah. And I love how God helps me to see the different areas in my life where I don't want to be trapped, even though that I might have. He may have taken a drug. He has taken a drug and alcohol problem away from me. I can easily get fall into the workaholic trap, the keeping up the Joneses trap, looking around me, keeping up with the image trap. There's so many different areas in just normal people's life where they can't even see that they're actually ensnared or enslaved to their lifestyle and just enslaved to the things that people or what society calls normal. You get trapped
socially acceptable.
Yeah, socially acceptable, and it's sad, to be honest. I see it, and I think if I stopped alcohol and drugs, that's not the life I want to get. I don't want to take myself out of one snare, one trap, and put myself into another one, where I can see it, where it's lost the meaning of love in families, where the children need the time with their parents, and they need that quality. Where they're not getting it, they're getting maybe the best schools, the nice clothes, a nice house, but they don't have mum, they don't have dad. Yeah. What's the point?
Exactly. You've been at Dooralong since November 16.
Yes, I have.
Yeah. So you seem to be traveling very well. You look like you're really on track. You've got another 3 months to go, is it, before you enter?
About 7 weeks.
7 weeks.
Finishing.
You're finishing. Now, is that your exiting stage you enter into? So you mentioned earlier that you wanted to actually get out and get into the community doing
community development with people in housing commission areas, because I've grown up with my mum and my father with single parents. I've seen there's a lot of areas there that they can get help in. Yeah. Where they just don't know how to do it at the moment. And I was blessed when I was in jail. I ended up doing a certificate 2 in community service, and I was working with a pastor in emergency housing, where I was doing the cooking and looking after the warehouse side of it, where if they needed clothes, a lot of the ladies and the single mums and single dads come from abusive backgrounds where they only had one set of clothes on their backs and nowhere to stay. And they'd have somewhere to keep them until they go to the Housing Commission house until one came available. But I seen though there's still going to be a big hole. Yeah, they might help them when they get to the Housing Commission area, but they're getting put back in the same hole they're in the first place. Yeah. So if you don't get any help in the Housing Commission areas where the single mums are, you're going to have a whole heap of kids like I was when I was at that age, 5 or 6 kids with no father role model or no one to guide them in the right direction. They just follow their older brothers who are already in jail or stealing and robbing in boys' homes on that same path as I am. And they're getting hammered before they even get to stand up. Yeah. And I felt in my heart, God put in my heart to put me in the right place with the pastor, how to learn how to help people in those areas. and showed me too that there's another area, there's a need that needs to be bridged up and gapped in. And I know just from different examples, when we ran a breast cancer fundraising function in the shopping centre, local shopping centre in that area, all we had to do was just ask a few of the shops to donate a few of the merchandise from their shops. We raffled off the merchandise, and that money went to the breast cancer. And you can do that same sort of principle in community, in any community with housing efficient areas out of their own community centre. Especially if there's a big Westfields around, you can do the exact same principle there and get Oz Harvest and different other places to help the children, help the whole neighbourhood.
Yeah. This is way past a dream for you. This is reality. This is what you're going to do.
Definitely.
You're focused on this. This is what I'm going to do. That's good to hear.
Definitely.
Excellent. Right, before we let you go, I want to find out how's your brothers? Are you still in contact? What are they doing? Where are they at? Where's the relationship there? Is there any at all?
Yeah, we've got a great relationship, but my brothers are there. Two of my younger brothers, they've got mental health issues, which they've had for about 5 or 6 years now. My two younger ones, and they've put on a lot of weight due to the medications, and it's heartbreaking. Yeah, to be honest, because I was stuck in that trap for a little while. I was stuck in and out of psychiatric hospitals, but I'm just so grateful and thankful that I'm stubborn, headstrong, and I didn't allow the medication to be a crutch. Yeah, I see him every now and then? See him all the time. And
Mom and Dad?
My two younger brothers are with my father, and my mum's by herself. My older brother, he's in the church. He's an elder in the church, and he's married, got two little boys and one girl.
Excellent.
Okay. What I hate about the mental health side of things for my younger brothers is they did need the medication, all that sort of thing at the start, but down the track they just end up using it as a crutch to hold them down. And that breaks my heart. And because I had it worse than both of them. And then they've allowed that to hold them down. Now they're 180 kilos, 160 kilos, and they're not going too far, and it breaks my heart that instead of using it to be a strength to overcome it, they went the other direction.
Well, mate, you stay focused on what you want to do, and I'm pretty sure sometime soon you'll be able to help them.
Definitely.
My guest this morning has been Wayne. Thank you very much. It's been a joy having you, man.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Edmund.
For you people out there who didn't know, you wouldn't have picked it up, but halfway through the interview, Wayne got a cramp and his leg stretched out his neck, but you kept your composure. You were talking right through it, and I'm like, well, I can't break now. Just got that cramp going on. That was great. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I mean, you got to come back and see us. I'm hoping you open up your center, or you get to work around here, so we can actually keep tabs on what you're doing and check in and get some progress and see what's happening with you, man.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see what God has in plan.
Awesome.
You've been listening to an encore presentation of the Dooralong stories, which can be heard live every Wednesday at 10 a.m. and repeated 8 p.m. Sunday and 1 a.m. Wednesday, right here on 94.9 rema.cc.